coming to this talk is for the person who are always moving. For the dreamers, the achievers, the builders who rarely stop. So I'm going to be direct for the next 15 minutes because this is not just a speech but an intervention. Are you ready? So this talk is for the person who feels lazy the moment they sit down. The achievers who believe their worth is tied to their output. Do you all have such moment where we think what we are worthy of? So this talk is going to give you a lot of insights or at least one action item per person in this room. So to begin with, I'm going to start with something a little unusual, where I'm inviting you all to pause just now. Don't look at me, don't look at your phones, don't even look at the person next to you. Just pause. Does it feel strange? As though we have been caught while doing something wrong? Some of you were smiling nervously. Some even leaned forward. There would have been some people who had thought, hey, did she forget her lines? Yeah? But that brief moment of discomfort is the entire point. It is a signal telling us how deeply we have been conditioned to believe that stillness is a mistake. I'm going to share a story. A few years ago, I worked with this brilliant leader who was responsible for about 800 employees. Very sharp, very driven, but he was utterly restless. In meetings, he would make decisions even before the other person completed their sentence. He thought speed was leadership. Until one day, one of his calls actually costed his company millions. And I asked him, what happened? And the response he gave me stayed with me forever. Want to know what that response was? So he told me, Vani, I was too busy moving. Too busy moving? Isn't that all of us? We all keep moving, right? We all are busy as well. Right from the time we wake up till the time we go to bed. So the moment he said, it kind of stuck with me forever, because we have been conditioned to believe stillness is a failure. Don't you agree? So what do we do then? But our brains are telling a very different story. Let us all picture our brain. We all know how our brain looks, right? But now I am going to ask you to picture two different engines in front of you. The first engine, everybody raise your hands, the first engine? Perfect. So the first engine is your task engine. Literally, this kind of helps you in responding to emails, answering queries, going to the grocery stores, and so on. Typically, this engine helps you to get things done. And whereas at the same time, there is another engine, the second engine. Perfect, thank you. And this engine is called as your discovery engine. You know what this engine does? It kind of connects ideas. It helps in coming up with creative solutions. But the catch is you can't run both these engines at the same time. At the same speed, same power, same throttle, nothing would work. It can't work simultaneously at the same time. Then what do? The more you keep doing things, what happens is your discovery engine is starving. So your discovery engine can come alive or it can get started only the moment you take a pause or you're creating a deliberate space between your tasks. So your strategic pause is not just an empty time, and definitely not in terms of the time when you scroll through Instagram reels. Right? So this is the time where your possibility becomes the seed bed. So I'm going to ask you all this question. What was the last decision that you regret? Have a decision that you regret? And now ask yourself, did you rush it? Or did you force yourself into it? And now, think of one decision that you're super proud of about yourself. Oh wow, I did really make this decision. There will be one decision that you're super proud of, right? Even as simple as skipping the examination or classes on a given day. I see a lot of heads nodding there. Yeah? So think, did you pause just before making that proud decision? Because the pause, the strategic pause that you take is not just an empty time. It is where the possibility is born. It is the seedbed of possibility. So the most important thing that you all can do to yourself is just stop, pause, breathe, and choose, so you don't regret that again. Now you all will have a question. Okay, I've taken a pause, but what next? This is where there is a very tricky part. The moment you pause, you start hearing voices. Definitely not the mystical one, but some inner voices. Since morning, many other speakers also did talk about it. Agree? Sometimes we don't like what they really say us. Though it is our own inner voice, we don't really like what they tell to us. So there was this woman whom I worked with, and she had 2 master degrees. She was very successful both personally and professionally. She was a literal powerhouse. And what she told me kind of shook me. She said, I am not smart enough or good enough to speak in meetings. Now think of this. All the evidences were pointing that she was brilliant. It was literally pointing to her brilliance and screaming about her brilliance. But her inner voice, it kept telling her, I am not smart enough. I am not good enough. So when such conditions come, what do we do? So this is where every new neural pathway that gets created, your brain kind of physically reshapes itself. This is not new, it's neuroplasticity. Every thought, every new thought that you take is going to create a new neural pathway, and the more you walk that pathway, it is going to get stronger. So some of you would still be thinking, what had happened to my client? How did I help her? So what she started was, she started reframing her thoughts. I am not smart enough, or I am not good enough to. I am learning and I bring value. And with that single reframing, do you think she had overcome fear just in one night? Definitely not. We are not wizards or magicians, right? So it's going to take some time. But the more you keep walking the path is going to get stronger. And similarly for my client, as she started reframing this again and again, I am learning and I bring value, her brain reinforced this. Her neural pathway became stronger. And slowly, her voice of doubt faded. And slowly yet steadily, her voice of confidence started growing. Now we have seen 2 points so far. One, the first thing is to take a pause. So that deliberate pause is going to help you to switch your engines. And once you pause, the second thing is all about fixing that inner voice, because you're reframing yourself. So more in terms of, if I'll have to give a very layman example for the crowd here, this is more like you are the latest smartphone, but you're working on an ancient buggy software. So your inner voice is like that buggy software. And if you'll have to correct that bug, what do? You just have to become a programmer. And the moment I say programmer, don't think that I'm going to give you a degree after finishing my speech. Right? And definitely you don't have to hold a bachelor's degree to become a programmer as well. I'm going to invite you for an exercise, and I can assure you that by end of this exercise, you are going to be that programmer. Ready for the exercise? Super. I know I have a hard job to keep you awake, but still I'm going to ask you all to close your eyes. Yeah? Wonderful. Take a deep breath and just relax. Take a deep breath and just relax. Think of one limiting belief that you carry. It can be as simple as, I'm not worthy, I can't do this, I'm not capable of, I always mess things up, whatever it might be. Think just one limiting belief that you carry. Keep your eyes still closed. Now I'm going to give you two powerful questions. The first question, is this belief 100% true in every given situation? Is this belief 100% true in every given situation? And the second question is, whose voice is it? Is it yours or is it someone else? Once you answer these two questions, open your eyes and come back to the present now. These two powerful questions are your new mantra and the first mantra that I'm introducing to you today. This will help to loosen the grip that the bug holds, which will enable you to slowly increase or grow your confidence. Just these two powerful questions. And then you will realize it is not the law of nature, but it is just the code. And the most simplest part is you can rewrite this code. Because you are the programmer. You are not the bug is just the code. And you are the programmer who can course correct that bug at any given point in time when you decide to do it. So we took a pause. Now we have understood the power of becoming a programmer to course correct your bug. Now what next? This is a dangerous edge because the moment you pause and the pause prolongs, your clarity will turn into a beautiful prison called as daydreaming. You take a longer pause, the clarity will slowly become a place where you start procrastinating. It becomes a beautiful prison. So in such moments of paralysis, what you will do is, action is the antidote. So there is this poem by Robert Frost, Two Roads Diverged in an Yellow Wood. Of course, most of you would have guessed it now, the road not taken. We all romanticize this poem for choosing the right path. But the reality is, the terror of standing at that fork and frozen by the fear of choosing the wrong one. We all would have had such instances in our life, where we stood at that fork, where it was diverging into two roads, and we were not sure which road to choose because we didn't want to choose the wrong one. Similarly, there was this guy, a very young chap, an entrepreneur whom I coached, and let me call him Arjun for the namesake, right? He was very brilliant. He had great ideas, a very clear market. But he was standing there for 6 long months without taking action because he felt he wanted to choose the right road, that he never chose a road at all. And I just challenged him, come on Arjun, pick one idea from this and implement it this week. First he thought I was being crazy. Of course, sometimes when you tell the truth, people feel that you're being crazy. But you know what? Arjun did that. In that one imperfect, messy week, he learned more than what he could learn in that 6 months of standing still. We all have such moments. We think confidence brings action, but neuroscience says the other way around. Action creates confidence. I repeat, action creates confidence. That one imperfect, messy step that you take is going to build your confidence. And for Arjun, it worked. So we have seen the pause, then we have fixed the code, and the third part is we took action. So what next? This is where the most important and the billion-dollar question comes. How do I sustain it? Because sometimes it becomes easy to take action and it becomes very challenging to sustain it. So that is where my work as an Agilist gives beautiful solutions. We all use mobile phones. Anybody in this room not using mobile phones today? Super. So you all have multiple applications installed in it. Agreed? So do you think all these applications were built in one grand attempt? So they were all built in short focus cycles called as sprint, and we reflect, adjust, and we repeat again. So this is how the applications were built. Now, what if we lived our life this way? Interesting? So stop with your rigid 5-year plans which will collapse on day 5. For some people, it will collapse in 5 hours as well. And start living in sprints. Have your dream. Let the dream be your compass. But let the journey be split or broken into sprints. So every Monday morning when you wake up, don't think about your 5-year plan. Instead, ask yourself, what is my sprint for this week? Similar to how Arjun learned in that one messy week, we will keep learning more again and again. So it is, the possibility is born, I said in the beginning. So when you walk out of this room, my humble request to each one of you here is, start asking yourself, what is that one messy step that you would like to take? Pause, reflect, adjust, and repeat the sprint again. Possibility is not in someday. It is definitely not in the distant future. It is in the pause that you take right now. The belief that you're ready to reframe. The action you dare. And the sprint that you begin today. Thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity.